Hello, everybody. Okay, welcome to Bethany. Thank you for being here. This is the second senior capstone show that's taking place in this venue. Please remember there is a reception afterwards that you are invited to. My name is Amanda Quist. I teach design and media here at Bethany, and I am thrilled to introduce the 4 graphic design majors that are going to be talking about their projects today. So we are going to be hearing from Kat Schleef, Savannah Soltis, HyunJun Yoon, and Keren Horneber. They're each going to talk about their capstone project, and then we will hold all questions until all of them have spoken. So without further ado, here's Kat.
All right, hi, my name is Kat Schleef, as Amanda said. I'm a graphic design major, communication minor. My spirit animal is a golden retriever. And these are quite a few pictures that I think just really kind of encapsulate who I am as a person, kind of my energy, and like what I'm about. I love people. I love being with my family. I love being with my friends. I love kind of extra outfits. Just kind of my whole vibe there. I'm actually a transfer student. I transferred here my sophomore year. So my freshman year, I was at WLC in Wisconsin, and I was gonna be a double major in business and art. And I mean, WLC was a good experience. I met my best friend there. She's not able to be here tonight, but her parents are, so I appreciate that. She's probably gonna call me afterwards and we'll talk. But they didn't have the best arts program, and so I was looking to transfer, and actually while I was there, they got rid of their graphic design program, and then she suggested I check out Bethany, because she was like, hey, I know some of the professors there. Also, I went to MVL, and like, there's a good art program there, you should check it out. So we checked it out. I talked to, this kind of goes into like my next point about like why I chose graphic design. And I kind of blame Professor Andy Overn for why I'm here in the graphic design major, because like I said, I was originally going to do like business and art, and graphic design is kind of like a combination of those. I knew I wanted to do something creative. I've always had a very creative mind, from painting to photography to, just even like playing with like sticks and setting stuff up in the backyard. I've always been a very decorative and creative person. But why graphic design? Like I said, it was kind of a good combination. And then when I was at WLC, they got rid of the graphic design major while I was there. So I was like, okay, well, this is kind of what I was thinking of doing. And then I transferred here. And then after I transferred here, WLC got their graphic design major back. And I just think that was one of those big moments where God was just kind of like, yeah, you needed to go somewhere else. Because if they hadn't have gotten rid of the major, I don't know if I would have left, because I would have been like, well, they have the major, I might as well stay. But honestly, I do think transferring to Bethany has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And I really hate making decisions. I'm kind of bad at it, and I like overthink things, and I spend so much time on it, but I really like this decision. I've had a great time here. I've grown so much as a person. I've met so many like amazing people, and I've just learned so much about myself and about life. So I've just grown so much personally and professionally. So why this project? Why this project kind of comes from what I was saying before about my decision to come to Bethany. I kind of wanted to give back to the school a bit, but it actually wasn't my first idea. So kind of going to the title, our title of our show is called Command Z, and for non-design people or people who don't know what that keyboard shortcut is, that's the undo button. When you do something and you're like, oh, I didn't want to do that, never mind, back up. Command Z is the undo button. And like 3 out of the 4 of us changed our original ideas from what we had going into it. I changed mine at midterm, and this was my first idea. I love cooking. I love food. I love taking pictures of food. I love making food for people. I love eating food. So one of my dreams is to own a restaurant and bar, and I would call it Kat's Kitchen, and it would be like a coffee bar in the morning, and it would be like a drinking bar at night, and when you would stop serving coffee and start serving tequila, I don't really know, but I'll figure that out when I get there, But I made this amazing logo, and I wanted to show it to you because I love it, and I hope to use it someday. But I did change my idea because I had a visual communication internship at the time, and that previous project just wasn't flowing the way it was supposed to. It just wasn't the time for it. But I had a visual communication internship with Bethany, and so I was like, well, this is a great opportunity to not only make my workload a little easier by combining my internship with my capstone, because I already made some stuff for my internship, but then I focused it in more on my capstone to make some very specific pieces for Bethany. And this is a great opportunity to make some professional client work, which is a great experience and a great opportunity as a graphic designer just graduating college. So these are some progression pictures of the map that's hanging on the wall right over there. And the one on the right is the final version of it. This was my first print of the map. I had sent this as sports pics, and I learned a lot about how gradients and like your color mode and how your screen looks different than something that you actually print on the printer, because when it gets to you, you'll notice that all the grays are actually purple on that printout of the map. And so I had to like go in, do some tweaking, change some things, and then I ended up printing it here on campus, which was cheaper for me, but also a good experience for me because then I got to like print it and mount it myself and go through that experience, so I got to learn some stuff there as well. This is not displayed in the show, but it is something that I helped work on. I didn't design it, so that's why I didn't put it in the show, but I did help make it. It's available in the bookstore. It is a sticker you can put on water bottles and laptops and whatnot, and he's just kind of cute, so, and he just fits in with my overall package. That's our mascot. His name is Halvar. And then these are some progress pictures of the illustrated Instagram like photo frame up there. Also, it's hung for you to interact with, so if you want to stand behind it and take pictures with it, please do. And Bethany Admissions, from what I understand, Bethany Admissions will be using that for future like freshman events and activities for people to use as a photo op. And that's the final version of it, which is what's hanging. These are some stills that I took from the Instagram ads that I made from Bethany. That's also up on the wall over there, and then my ads are playing right behind all of my other lovely classmates. And so it's muted for now, but if you want to listen to it afterwards, I have included three of my favorite advertisements that I made, so we can watch them. And then the last part of, the last piece that I put in my graphic design capstone is some social media posts that I made for the Ada Stokes Writing Center on campus. I have a job there as a social media content creator, and I thought that would be a neat thing to include in my capstone as well, as it shows a little diversity in the things that I make, and ultimately it's another thing for Bethany, so it fits in with my theme. So that's what I picked for my capstone. And just to kind of recap as to why I picked it as my capstone is because I thought it was a great opportunity for some professional work, and I thought it was a great way to give something back to the school that's given a lot to me, and I hope my work encourages other people here and future students to value the Bethany experience as I have valued it. And yes, thank you very much.
Okay, hi there. I'm Savannah, and for my capstone project, I created my own brand called The Crystal Habit. But before we get into that, let's see how we got here, or how I got here, I guess. I graduated high school in 2017, and I'm sure a lot of high school students felt the same way when trying to figure out what you wanted to do for the rest of your life. That's a big decision to make, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. During my senior year, I took one physics class and thought, yeah, this is great, I'll do this. So going in pretty much blind, I got accepted to MSU as a physics major. And let me tell you how that went. The first semester, it was great, fantastic. I was very satisfied with being able to successfully solve physics problems. Second semester, AKA Calc 2, bad time. Really made me start questioning what I was doing with my life. I ended that semester going undecided and back to having no idea what I wanted to do. Third semester came, and so I just took a whole bunch of random classes just to see if anything would stick and if I was interested in anything. And I even took a decision-making class because clearly I have problems. And clearly that class didn't help me because semester 4 came and I was back to being a physics major. And semester 4 went just about as well as semester 2 did, and Calc 2 is forever my enemy. I ended that semester and decided that's it. I don't want to spend the rest of my life solving math problems. So I wanted out of the major and out of the school. I did some research towards some colleges, and I ended up here at Bethany. Once again, blindly choosing a major, but luckily it worked out a lot better this time. I chose graphic design because I've always been interested in the arts, and I love to be creative. But I also figured in this technological world, being able to create art on a computer would be the best route for me. I took my first design class and thought it was totally awesome. It never crossed my mind that I could be able to create pictures using shapes and colors on a computer. And I was very proud of the things that I made and very excited to make more. Looking back, though, it's very humbling to see how far I have come. For my capstone project, I once again had no idea what I wanted to do, but thank you to Amanda for making us create a list of 50 to 100 potential ideas, which really helped me out a lot. This project literally could have gone 100 different ways, but I ended up choosing crystal packaging since I recently got into collecting crystals myself, and I noticed that a lot of other crystal shops have really boring packaging. I wanted to create something that was different and unique and something that I would want to buy myself. So, first step, what is my brand going to be called? Once again, long list of potential names, and I found a diamond in the rough, the Crystal Habit. When I first came up with this name, I was thinking of the habit of collecting crystals. Once you buy one, you just want to buy more, but it turns out it has another meaning. The habit of a crystal is the shape in which the crystal is actually formed. And it has a double meaning, which is pretty cool, and that became the center point of my brand. I designed the logo to represent the model of a crystal habit, and it will make more sense in a little bit here. And because it has two meanings, I was able to play with both sides, using the habit of collecting crystals to represent the metaphysical side and using the actual crystal habit to represent the scientific side. After figuring out my brand name, it was time to decide what I wanted my packaging to look like. My original idea was to create individual boxes for each crystal so that it'd be designed in a way that you could see the crystal on the inside, but the outside pattern would be a representation of which crystal you were getting. Hit a few bumps on the road and decided I just wasn't liking the way they were turning out. So I scratched that idea and did something totally different. I instead created a larger box that could hold a different number of crystals. And the idea was that if ordered online, the customer could choose between towers and tumbles, which is the left and the right there. And then they could also decide whether they wanted a small, medium, or large box of them. The box has individual compartments for each crystal, and each box comes with a crystal information card to describe which kind of crystals you're getting, and each card is also color corresponding to help you identify what crystals are in your box. And then for the design on the box, I decided to keep it clean and let my logo shine. But I thought a white logo on a black background was a little boring, so I added a topography design to create some dynamic and make it more appealing to the eye. Not only do I love the flow of topographic designs, but it also represents where crystals come from out in nature. This box is also created in a way that it can be used to ship crystals, but also store them if need be. I created the logo and the topography design using Adobe Illustrator, and the textures of the crystals were created in Photoshop, and the 3D models of the box and the crystals were created in Cinema 4D. And then last semester, I ended up taking a motion graphics class, and for one of our projects, we had to create an infographic of our choosing, and I created one to explain what a crystal habit is. And that was made using a combination of Photoshop, Illustrator, and After Effects. Have you ever wondered why crystals look the way they do? Well, in mineralogy, the different shapes of crystals are called crystal habits. The crystal habit is influenced by the atomic structure of the mineral and by the environment of where the crystal is growing. Many crystals grow from water-rich and dissolved minerals, but can also grow from melted rock and vapor. Most minerals occur naturally as crystals, and every crystal has an orderly pattern of atoms. The resulting habit of the crystal mirrors the internal arrangement of those atoms. As crystals grow, differences in temperature and chemical composition cause variations. All minerals form in one of 6 crystal systems: the isometric system, with 3 axes, all the same length like a cube; the tetragonal system, in which the height is longer than the width; the orthorhombic system, where all axes are different in length; the monoclinic system, where all axes are a different length, but only 2 of the sides meet at 90 degrees; the triclinic system, where none of the axes are equal in length and none of the sides meet at a 90-degree angle; and finally, the hexagonal system, a 6-sided crystal longer in height than width. To learn more, visit thecrystalhabit.com. All right, and then lastly, I created a chakra infographic, which goes into more depth of the metaphysical side of crystals. It explains what each chakra is and which crystals are associated with them. Chakras are pretty much just discs of energy throughout the body, and they influence our present and future mindset, behavior, and emotional health. I chose to focus on the 7 main chakras, which are the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root. I won't go into much depth about them, but if you would like to learn more, feel free to stop by afterwards to take a look. The chakra designs were, the icons were designed in Illustrator, and the layout was designed in InDesign. Overall, I'm very happy with how everything turned out and how I was able to combine the metaphysical and the scientific sides of crystals into one brand. Thank you.
Hey everyone, how are you doing today? My name is HyunJun Yoon, and I'm from Korea. Just in case, not from North, from South. I've heard this question a lot. And I believe I'm the only international student who actually graduated as a graphic designer in Bethany, I think. I'm going to be the first one. I hope I'm not the last one. Yeah. And then the reason why I picked the graphic design as my major. Since when I was a kid, well, both my parents were very busy, and they came back very late, about like 9 or 8 at least. So I used to play with my older brother. But thing is, like, I usually don't want to go outside and play soccer or any sport. So I just play by myself with Legos or clays, just some unusual boy stuff. But as I grew up, I just fell in love with playing video games. It's just so much fun, and there's so much fantasy and unrealistic thing that you never experience in real life. And I think, but when I play video game, like, my parents usually don't like it, like other parents do. They always say, "What you gonna do later when you grow up? When you have to get a job? What you gonna do if you play video games all day?" But well, things will happen always. Like there will be a plan, always. And suddenly I heard there is a graphic design major in not in just Bethany, in any college, but it sounds really fun. But I was kind of thinking about majoring in biology when I freshman. But after I tried general biology, but it was just not my type. I just don't like it anymore. So I think about, I have to change it. I have to get a new idea from it. I have to find a new major to graduate here. But the worst thing happened. I have to go to Army for 2 years, unfortunately. Then during that period, I was thinking about a lot. What should I do? Should I just quit attending in Bethany or just go back to Korea and just stay there and find a normal job just like other people? But I don't want to do it. Since I started here, I want to finish it, but I did. Then I just start to drawing. I don't know why, but I just feel like it one day. So I just start to draw a bunch of paper myself, and I just start to like it. So I changed my major into graphic design, and my advisor, Andrew Horan, he guided me very well, and I couldn't make it this far without him, and special thanks to you, by the way. That's a kind of long story. And about my artwork. If you see on your left side, there's colorful images. Most of you may not know what this is gonna be and what it is about. It's about video characters in video game called League of Legends. And that video game is most popular in the world right now, at least for 5 years. So, and why I picked League of Legends for my capstone project topic? As I said, it's most popular, and there are so many contents and characters that I can use it, or I can remake it as my own style already. And I already know, since I played this game for 10 years, this is quite long, I already know much about it very well. And the IP they have, this is the other IP, other games they use to make it in different versions. On your left side, this animation called Arcane. They're on Netflix right now. Even you don't know about any video games, you may saw it or may heard it. And there's the other two on your right side. These are other games they're trying to invent it right now, working on. So this is game are only not for just one game. They keep making or keep producing something bigger and something different with same IP. So I just think, should I make it my own style, something new? That's what I done. So this is the game characters I make into icon. Well, you can see there's a lot, but this is not all of them. There are gonna be more of it. So I try to make each character into my own style. That's gonna be so cool. So this is the 3 example, just out of 100 something. On your left side, that's the image I make it. Then on the right side, that's the original images. Isn't it cool, right? But for the people who really don't know about these game characters or any video game stuff, I want to try to make it into simple shape so they can understand, can just see it, the characteristic they have, or the just coolness or some stuff, you can see it right away. And since I make it, right, my goal from now on, since they keep making new characters and new contents from that game, I just want to create my own instead of just making a different character, different icon that already existed. So there's some information. This is a character called Timo. That's his name. And there's some skin. This is more like an outfit they keep making. So each character has at least 3 or 4 different outfits, which is about thousands outfits already existed. And they're going making more and more every week or every month. So that's my goal. I want to improve it, and I want to do after graduate here. And that's going to be so cool. And they're going to be hard work, but I believe it's not impossible, I guess. So. By the way, I also make a badge out of each icon with my bare hand. It was tough work. Well, just feel free to take it as much as you want, and you can ask me, can you make this character more? Then I can, of course I can do it for you guys. And thank you for coming again, by the way. And I'm gonna hand it to our last member right. Just give a prize.
My name, you can hear me, okay. My name is Keren Horneber. My project is on the wall behind all of you, so don't worry, I will have pictures of it in here. It's the Geared Up series. I love cars. Driving them and talking about them, old cars and new cars, especially working on them. It's really nice to get out on a sunny day, open the hood, do a little inspection, maybe turn a few wrenches here and there. Even more exhilarating, diagnosing a real problem and being able to repair it completely. It's extremely satisfying for me. At this point, you're probably wondering, why is she talking about cars? This is a graphic design capstone presentation. Well, not only am I a graphic designer, I am also a trained and certified auto mechanic. I can prove it. That is my diploma. Thank you, Mom, for sending the pictures. It's my pleasure to combine both of these skills in my capstone. I once, perhaps like some of you, did not know much of anything about cars. I knew how to raise and lower crank windows, but that was about it. When I was in my junior year of high school, I had the wonderful opportunity to earn an associate's degree in one of several trade careers, one of which was automotive. Hey, why not? Every school day, for 2 years, I studied car anatomy, diagnosis, and repair. And I found out more and more that I loved doing it. I still geek out about it, and my parents and friends still call me with car questions. After I graduated the program, I came to Bethany to earn my bachelor's degree in graphic design. That's some of my past work. Similar to my experience with automotive, I had very little knowledge about art, and I never considered myself to be an artist, though I had completed some art classes that I enjoyed. But after taking a certain graphic design 1 course, Andy, as a gen ed, I decided that I liked what I was doing and wanted to give it a shot. I've taken many design courses since then, and I won't lie, I don't always like it. They were tough for me, and I was and still am learning a whole new world of art theory, best practices, design programs, and plain experimentation with what looks good and why. Talk about a learning curve. Before graphic design, I had never touched a Mac computer. So, there's that. I like them now, but not at first. Like automotive, I've grown to enjoy the excitement of a new design challenge, applying my skills and creating something I'm proud of, which brings me to my project. The Geared Up series is a result of my desire to combine my 2 skill sets into one project, one that could actually be realized as a useful product. I struggled with what form the project would take, whether it would be purely informational or purely graphic in nature, whether I would have various pieces or focus on a specific type of design, such as poster design. In the end, my project evolved from something producing precisely accurate illustrations of car parts, those are old drafts, to large format poster designs, to multiple large infographics, to an informational booklet, to finally a subscription box. Now, for those who don't know, a subscription box is recurring delivery of niche products packaged as a cohesive experience for the customer. On the left, that is a makeup subscription box that you would receive monthly with brand new products in it that maybe you hadn't experienced before. And on the right, I'm pretty sure that's shaving, something like that. I created the Geared Up subscription box. Again, these are behind you, but there it is. Each box would contain a set of tools and equipment for working on cars, along with an instructional booklet to show you how to use them. The booklet is designed to guide subscriber in using the tools, as well as give a step-by-step instruction for various maintenance and repair jobs on each car. With each box received, the jobs and tools included would become more advanced, and the subscriber would become more knowledgeable of car diagnosis and repair. For the content of my designs, I was able to draw on my knowledge and experience as a mechanic. No research. For the designs themselves, I looked at existing trends in subscription box design, and I leaned into my foundational understanding of color theory, typography, line work, and the strength of simple shapes. Using these foundations, I designed an overall brand. A booklet spread, the box itself, a website, and a short infographic. This infographic is an example of the learning material that the Geared Up company might produce to supplement their boxes.
When's the last time you changed your oil? Or checked it? Or even thought about it? You've probably heard that changing your oil is one of the most important things you can do for your car. But why? What does your oil actually do? Quite a lot, it turns out. Oil is practically the lifeblood of the engine. Oil has three main responsibilities in the engine: lubrication, cleaning, and cooling. Your engine is powered by converting gas and air to kinetic energy. Basically, it runs on mini explosions. It's pretty cool, but creates a lot of friction, heat, and dirt in the engine. Oil runs through the engine, creating a cushion between the moving parts, collecting dirt to be filtered out, and taking heat away from the cylinders. If there was no oil, the engine could melt together, or even explode. It is pretty clear that oil has a very important role in engine safety and efficiency. By checking up on your engine and giving it good, clean oil, you'll add years to its lifespan and keep both you and your engine happy. That said, maybe it's time to check your oil?
Special thanks to Emily Dietz for narrating that. So, who is Geared Up for? This was another struggle for me in the beginning. While I was still mulling over whether this project would be a beginner booklet or a series of posters for car fanatics to hang in their garages, it was hard for me to take that some people might actually not be interested in cars. Can you believe it? I was all set to create, with the target market of everybody. Clearly, that wasn't going to work out. If you haven't figured it out yet, I really like to try new things, and I will probably go out of my way to do that. But other people have to be convinced. I needed to narrow my market in order to make something successful and accessible. Generally, my target market is people who don't know about cars but would be willing or even want to learn. I know, that is still very broad. That's where the subscription box side of things comes in. Again, for those who don't know about subscription boxes, they carry a little bit of culture with them. People who get subscription boxes generally like to explore in the niches that they're subscribed to. It can be a bit of addiction. After all, you're getting a box full of surprises every month, and that adds excitement to the niche that you were probably already excited about. People who get subscription boxes also tend to get more of them. Long story short, subscription boxes are an exciting and bustling market opportunity to break into. Business marketing majors. Besides throwing the box to the subscription culture, I know that there are a few parents out there who would like their kids to have some knowledge of their cars, especially when they start driving on their own, if their parents let them start driving alone. I also know that there are a few ladies out there who don't know much about their cars and maybe don't want to work on them, but they also want to know whether the mechanic is lying when he says they need blinker fluid. Also, just in the few years I've been here at Bethany, I couldn't tell you how many people have found out that I'm a mechanic and asked me for help with their cars. We have battery issues in the winter, starter issues, random rattling noises. I've come across people who drive frequently but don't know where their oil dipstick is to check their oil levels. It's not necessarily that they don't care. And in fact, when I help with cars, I try to explain how it works as much as I can. They're always pretty interested, and many of them have told me that they would love to know more. Unfortunately, Bethany doesn't have any auto mechanics classes yet. What's stopping all these people from just going out and learning this stuff for themselves? Well, here's the thing. As much as I love auto mechanics, I have to admit it's not the most inviting or simple topic to dive into. Most educational materials come in very thick, black and white, small print, ginormous textbooks. That, or sketchy online blogs called Mike the Mechanic, or ilovediesels.com. Not very pretty, or interesting, or trustworthy. Where are the easy to use and to understand modern, trustworthy, and flexible training tools? That's what Geared Up is meant to do. A box from certified mechanics with everything you need to start learning, and truly understanding what it means when your cars need an oil change, or when your hood has started to tick. That is the box that you can trust. I really wanted to give that certainty to others and share my love for auto mechanics quite some time now. I know that getting your hands greasy and sliding under the car isn't for everyone, but understanding how it works and getting the chance to try should be available for everyone. Creating Geared Up was partially about successfully designing a realistic brand and capping off my senior year with a shiny new portfolio piece. But it was also about using this opportunity to combine my skill sets and to really use all of my talents to serve others, and finally, of course, to the glory of God. Thank you.